If your goal is to do this, then keep watching. Hey guys, my name is Zach Ferguson, and this channel is all about helping you guys reach your tricking goals. I may not be the best tricker, but hopefully my experience can help you guys become the best. This is a tutorial for a Grandmaster Swipe, or GMS for short. And it was requested by one of my students and my friend, Alec. A GMS is a relatively universally respected trick in tricking, and it is generally liked by people who prefer to do aerial spectrum tricks, and it's actually on the Tricking Illuminati's top 10 underrated marathon tricks. Even though it can be kind of a complicated or difficult movement to actually do, and especially to combo out of things other than cartwheel, I think that learning it is actually pretty simple. So let's go ahead and get to the quick tutorial.
So if you want to get Grandmaster Swipe, the first thing you have to understand is this is a style move. So specifically, you're going for an aloof aesthetic. So you want to make sure that you have a nondescript but well-color coordinated outfit. And then after that, it's pretty much just do an aggressive cartwheel and jump off one leg. You got it. You might lose your glasses in the process, but I mean, you're probably rich based on your appearance, so does it really even matter?
I can see how that would be some helpful advice to some, but let's do the real quick tutorial now. All right, so what is a Grandmaster Swipe? A Grandmaster Swipe is a missleg aerial or a missleg flash kick. Either way, you miss your left leg if you twist to your left, and you take off of your right leg, go a little backwards and sideways, and land on your right leg. So it is literally a master swipe without hands. So the prerequisites for this video are going to be a master swipe and a flash kick or an aerial. You need a master swipe and one of those two. You're also definitely gonna need a cartwheel for this, but I don't think I need to mention that, although I just mentioned it, so whatever, but you're gonna need a cartwheel to do this tutorial. Hopefully you're not trying to learn a GMS before you know how to do a cartwheel. So the higher we get in difficulty levels of tricking, the more mental tricks tend to get. So for me, this is, again, like I was saying, sort of like a physically difficult trick to perform out of anything other than a cartwheel. But if I'm doing it out of a cartwheel and I'm like just, you know, not even that warmed up, I can just do a GMS, not a big deal. But if I try to do something like sideswipe to GMS, I really have to get it solid in my head and understand what I need to do before I actually can accomplish something like that. So with that being said, I find that this trick is a lot more about how you think about the trick rather than like what you physically need to do to perform the trick. So we're gonna think about it two different ways in this tutorial. The two different ways you can think about this trick are taking an aerial and leaning it really sideways and kicking over almost like a 540 kick or a side swipe. And the other way is basically thinking of it as a missleg flash kick. That's what I think of it as, and it still comes out like a GMS. My GMS is a lot more over the top and not as much over the side. Some people prefer that, and when I was coming up, it was a big debate of whether you should go all the way over the top or go around the side. And in my opinion, I think that that it is a GMS either way, because there's not really another trick that is like vertical GMS or sideways GMS. It is, you know, the age-old debate when I was first starting of if you do a cork and it is closer to vertical, then it is actually a gainer full and not a cork, because a cork has to be flat spin or 45. But as tricking has progressed, it's kind of been commonly accepted that if you swing your leg and you do a full, you're doing a cork, unless you are like running forward and doing a true gainer and doing a full with that. There was even a video when I was coming up of this British guy who was like, public service announcement, GMS, your hips don't go over your head. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. Frick that guy. Because this personally stopped me from learning a GMS for a long time, because no matter what I did, I was like, well, if I do a GMS and I go too over the top, then I'm not actually doing a Grandmaster swipe, and I just want to get this trick in, and I just got to go around the side. And so I kept injuring myself because I was trying to make it an aerial when my body didn't want to do that. And then whenever I, you know, side by side doing an aerial or a flash kick version of a GMS, they don't really look that different. So personally, the aerial method does not work for me because I guess my hips are too tight, or my mental state, like, it doesn't work for me, or I just need to think about it more like a flash kick to get the proper power for it. So I'm going to say that you need to have at least either a flash kick or an aerial, because we're gonna think of this as a missleg flash kick or a missleg aerial. However, I'm not gonna teach it like that. That's just how I want you to think about it. The way we're gonna learn it today is only really one method with kind of a pseudo second method, and that way is gonna be from a cartwheel this whole time. So you're gonna do a cartwheel and then go into a master swipe, and you're gonna make it higher and faster over time, and eventually turn it into a grandmaster swipe by doing that and thinking of it like a aerial or a flash kick. So let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. All right, so I think this process is pretty simple, and I'm sure you have gone through this before, Alec, but hopefully something I say in this can help you understand how to get it. What you want to do first is warm up your master swipe. If you don't know that yet, again, go learn it and then come back. And you shouldn't have a lot of impact on your wrists during this, but just get them ready for it and make sure they're warmed up, because we are going to make our master swipe higher and higher over time. So I personally like to do my master swipe like this when I'm getting ready for GMS, because it is kind of like a higher version of it. And I'm going to make a master swipe tutorial right after this, as long as the storm doesn't come down and, you know, ruin my lighting and audio. You can already see as this tutorial goes on that the shadow behind me is getting bigger. But there's going to be a master swipe tutorial either next week or later this week to help you out with it if you don't know how to master swipe yet. So once you've warmed up your master swipe, we're just gonna do a cartwheel and then do another cartwheel. So you just cartwheel to cartwheel to get used to the motion. I know that sounds like it's just like easy peasy, but that's the base of this. And then from there, what you're gonna do is practice landing your cartwheel and kind of swinging your left leg up so that you feel the motion of your GMS, and you feel that you're kind of getting pulled up off of the ground by that left leg. Once you've gotten used to doing that and you can like really feel the motion of your left leg swinging up and you're getting pulled off of the ground a little bit, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a cartwheel, feel the swing up with that leg, reach backwards like you're gonna catch on your hands, but you don't catch on your hands yet, and you catch back on your foot and then just do another cartwheel. So you get a little hang time and then you do another cartwheel. You really feel that the leg is like missing the ground, but you're really still just doing two cartwheels with a little hop in the middle. Once you've got that, you're going to just give it a little more power and height. So you do your cartwheel and you really lift that left leg up high so you feel it pulling you off the ground. You spot the ground behind you and you still catch on that right leg and then cartwheel. Just try to get a little more height and a little more speed than last time. After that, it's time to go for the real master swipe out of this. So what I want you to do is the fastest cartwheel you can do, look behind you at where you want to land, misleg that leg, and then it's just catching like a regular cartwheel or macaco, but you're doing a master swipe because you mislegged that hand. It's gonna feel a lot more backwards than normal master swipes if you do them, like sideways, or how I did at the very beginning, how you swing that leg up. But if you're used to doing it kind of like a macaco method, then you will be used to this, and it'll actually be pretty easy to perform. This is not very hard for me to do at all. It kind of doesn't even hurt my wrists or anything. It just feels like I'm just gliding across the ground when I do it. But this is what you want to do. Speed it up and practice this over and over and over again. This is the key to it, in my opinion. Just cartwheel to master swipe, cartwheel to master swipe. If this takes 5 minutes, then great. If this takes a month, then great. Like, it doesn't matter, just train it if you want to get your Grandmaster swipe, in my opinion. After that, if you're used to doing this motion and it's like second nature and it's not hard, just give it a little more height and really fling that left leg up. So it almost feels like you're doing a swing through with your left leg, and then you spot behind you and catch on your hands. It's a little more intense on your wrists, but really not that much if you have a fast cartwheel. That's why I'd recommend to really crank the speed up on your cartwheel and try to cover distance with it, because the setup will carry you through the rest of the motion if you apply enough speed to it at the beginning. And really, man, if you have this fast and high and you're going quick with that cartwheel, you should be able to do a GMS by now. It's really just do a master swipe and don't put your hands down. But what's important, in my opinion, is how you think about it. So, for example, this is what it looks like when I try to do it the aerial method. I come over the side and my hips stay closed, even though I'm actively trying to do it with my hips open this way. If I think about it like an aerial, I just crumple and I roll. There's not much I can do about it. However, if I think about it like a flash kick, then my body naturally does all the motions of a flash kick, but I start it like a master swipe and I just miss leg, and then I'm like, okay, flash kick, and I kick over really hard and I engage my core more and I engage my quad more, but really I'm doing the same motion. The axes are not even that different on this. So think about whichever one you like more, a flash kick or an aerial. You can even maybe think about this like a side swipe or a 540. It doesn't really matter to me what you think about, as long as how you're thinking about it gives you more power and allows you to land. But it's really just a fast cartwheel to a miss leg and then miss hand master swipe. There's not really many common mistakes I can think of for this, because when I teach students, generally they will get it with this method or, you know, something similar. So I don't have a lot of experience with people messing up on GMS because they generally just catch on their hands. One thing I will say though is it is definitely a style move, like I was saying with the fake tutorial at the beginning, because it is one of those things that's like a personal preference thing. You know, I'm sure a lot of people will say like, no, GMS hips don't go over your head, but like, I don't really care. And if you want to make it look more sideways while still thinking of it like a flash kick, then what you can do is instead of tucking the leg like I do, you can start by mislegging it and tucking it, and then really focus on spreading both legs and straightening your left leg a lot, because then it'll look like you're doing, you know, a kick over your left leg, and it will give the illusion of more cleanliness or make it look more sideways. So if that's the way you want yours to look, you can still approach it like a flash kick and make it look like an aerial by straightening that left leg a lot. So the biggest factors for me are air awareness, so spotting where I am, really cranking that left leg up as hard as I can, and then the speed of the setup. So if I do it out of a cartwheel, I can land it 99% of the time, even if I'm tired. But if I do it out of, like I said, a 540 or a side swipe or an aerial or something, if my setup's not perfect, then I can't land it. So for me specifically, it is very setup dependent. There's one other quick way that I wanted to mention that you could do this, but I don't necessarily recommend it. I just don't want to leave it out because it may benefit someone, especially if you come from like gymnastics or something. But what you can do is you can do a flash kick out of your cartwheel and progress the same way we did with our master swipe, but just with a flash kick. So if you have a really good flash kick and you want to go cartwheel, step, step, flash kick, and then cartwheel, step, flash kick, and keep doing that over and over again until you can misleg it and just miss that left leg and do a flash kick off of your right leg and land back on your right leg, you can also do it that way. However, it's a lot lower for me because especially if you're doing a tricking cartwheel, it gives you a lot of sideways momentum and can mess you up, especially on your knees, so be careful of that. But if you're really dedicated dedicated to going backwards and you have, like I said, like a tumbling background, this might be helpful, so I wanted to at least mention it. But that's about all I can think of at the moment to help you with GMS. I hope it was helpful, Alec. I feel like this is kind of obvious information, especially for you, but I'm making the video like you wanted me to. Obviously, you can personally ask me if there's anything else that you feel like I left out or that you still need an intricate explanation of, but hopefully this will help you get it. But for everyone else, I hope this helped you get or improve your GMS. Please like the video if it was helpful to you and leave a comment and let me know if there's anything that I could elaborate on. I'd love to help you guys out. You can also message me on Instagram at zf.tricks. I changed my handle recently, so I wanted to at least put that in a video because I had a lot of other videos with zach.enso. Please help me on my quest to 1,000 subs by subscribing down below. And until next time, please stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you later.